All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm going to just jump right into it because here we are in the final days of this kingdom, the final moments of this kingdom. And the Lord has blessed us with the knowledge and the truth that's written in the Holy Bible. Blessed us to see our teachers who have the understanding of the things in the Holy Bible. And we got to continue on to preach those things and exalt Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. And just real quick, just going into this particular article, because we're all seeing it, what's happening. These Edomites, the society is collapsing. And here in the last days, Esau just being like that old roaring lion that's starting to take their anger out on Jacob. Just like in the Roman Empire, his last kingdom that proceeded before this one. And in this particular one, you had the president who flew in to apologize to some so-called black teenagers who had been profiled in one of his stores. And then they found out, one of them was a college student, and some of the other ones were students at a Catholic high school. Then another one, which was on camera, is this woman was profiled at a Snook store, and the CEO apologized for that too. Hey, these Edomites, they can do all this apologizing, they can do all this justifying. Sometimes they'll walk by the camp and they'll talk about, what a good job we're doing, all that shit. But when they get around the corner, they get back home and they look at the videos that the brothers are bringing out about them, about the different works they've done and their ancestors done. They're still cursing us and they're still working against us. And it's been a this lifetime we finally were given it through our teachers, through our apostles, through our elders. We were given the truth. But then at the same time, I'm trying to clean something off. But at the same time, these people have hundreds of years of work behind so-called white supremacy, which we know that Edomites, they're not actually white. They got hundreds of years of works that they put in. And so, we got to remember that the Lord is going to basically, he's going to destroy these people, and he is going to destroy this place. And we got to continue on and keep our nerve in the faith. We brothers were talking about in my particular camp, what happens if they find out, that you're an Israelite. Hey, well, just like, they've kept their little secret organizations. They've kept the privacy and the intentions of their organizations. Well, shit, we got to do the same thing. If they ask about the truth, ask about camps or whatever specific questions, as they find out you're an Israelite, hey, it's none of their business. And that's what brothers were basically saying to me. It's none of their business. And call lo Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Rakakadash. That wanted to see Apostle Elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Hey man, it's time to get out of here. But I'm gonna go through the scriptures. Job 20:2. Man, because we gotta cling to the scriptures. This one thing I was thinking about, doing some paperwork, doing some other things, and you get a little sidetracked with your day-to-day sometimes, but then you kind of come back and have to have that little flash in your mind. It jogs your memory that, hey, this is wisdom. This is a woman. This is something that you should cling to. This is given to us by the Heavenly Father. So Job 20:2. Therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Yeah, because one thing that could piss you off and and get you fired up is seeing these Edomites in their luxury, in their luxury houses, their luxuriousness, and that's one thing we got to remember, man. All of that stuff has been given to them, and it's going to be taken away. Though his excellency mount up to the clouds, and his head reach unto the clouds. Excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. Yet he will perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And that's what's going to happen to these Edomites. Their excellency, hey, they can go up into the damn space station. Their excellency goes up into the clouds. They got these huge buildings that are many stories high, that are made out of steel, that have been perfectly crafted by different fucking carpenters, and all of these great works and these great wonders, that they're going to perish like their own dung. They're going down. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Jumping down to verse 10, his children, because this is one of the things these Edomites love doing. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. Yeah, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. There you go. His bones are full of the sin of their youth. And if you look at this country, because I was just looking at a video that the brothers did on the fleur-de-lis, because the fleur-de-lis, this is a French symbol, fleur-de-lis meaning the flower of lily. It's the symbol really is of an iris specifically, which goes back to occultism. But in this particular place, St. Louis, and going all the way down the Mississippi to New Orleans, this is a heavy symbol. I think this picture is actually in New Orleans. The fleur-de-lis, and Esau, they don't hesitate to make that shit known. It's full of his bones are full of the sin of their youth. There's so much occultic symbol out here from the development of this country when people didn't know about it. So many statues of different Confederacy people and all of that shit, just like here in St. Louis. People got mad because there was a statue, I think it's a Confederate general or something like that, and they petitioned to get it taken down. People got mad over on the East Coast of another Edomite who owned slaves. Then there was one Edomite. He did experiments on Israelite women, dealing with their reproductive system and all that kind of stuff. He was like the forefather of that, but he gained all of that knowledge from experimenting on Israelite women, specifically so-called black women. And and I think I recall the Edomite was saying, look, if we go down and we take every statue down of all of these Edomite, of all these people, who had some kind of wicked history, we'd be taking down a whole lot of statues. And that's real. They'd have to take a damn near all of, we know Esau's the wicked, so they have to take every last one of them down. And they're not going to do that. And these Edomites are full of shit. And because another thing too, a lot of these statues are made of cheap metal, because they were put up after the so-called the 60s. A lot of those statues were put up as a response to black people, so-called, or black Native American Latino people, so-called, getting more rights. They started to put a lot of those Edomites, those wicked ass Edomites up as a response to that. And now, just like it said, man, these Edomites are seeking to please the poor. Because why the fuck would a CEO fly all the way somewhere in the middle of nowhere to try to apologize for something that happened in his store? They're only doing that to try to preserve their business, to preserve their name, all of that shit. And you're starting to see it more and more. This person apologizing. What are you apologizing for? Okay, your foundation has always been that. Like I said, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asps within him, which gall of asp. The asp is a serpent, gall is poison. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. There you go. And these Edomites swallowed a lot of riches. They took all this land. This land where I'm on used to be the so-called French part of America, because French at a certain point it was divided up between Spain, France, and Britain, and then later on Esau, these Edomites, they bought them out, and this became America because they knew this was Arsareth. They knew this was the place of prophecy. That they knew this was Babylon. And once again, that's why they put all these demonic ass symbols up, because just like the brothers went into, they used to mark the slaves with this. They used to mark a lot of slaves to this. And just like it said, this is part of Black Code, which Black Code was a set of regulations adopted in Louisiana in 1724 and from other French colonies around the world, meant to govern the state's slave populations. Sec said those rules included branding slaves with the fleur-de-lis as punishment for running away. There you go. You be branded on the shoulder, and you would get your ears cropped. Then he said if you ran away a second time, your hamstring would be cut. So this thing is a huge symbol, and that's why these Edomites here in St. Louis, what is it at? They made this the flag of St. Louis, because this is one of the Missouri was the last state to keep slavery, and that's why it's one of the most racist states today. But these Edomites will tell you, well, look, my forefathers did that. I have no say so, or I had nothing to do with that. Well, you are your forefather coming back. Okay, and now it's been so sweet when we were in darkness and we didn't know anything, but now that brothers are, going out and pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, we're going out in highways and byways. People, they have two choices. Either A, they could try to come against the word, they could try to dispute it, which they're going to be proven wrong, or B, they could try to pretend like they're with it and give us a nice compliment or whatever, but then still in the background be moving against us. And that's how Esau is. He comes crouching. He's a serpent. He's giving us sweet words. Oh, it's a good thing you guys are doing. The truth is the truth, man. And these Edomites, a lot of them even have our family histories. That a lot of them have that stuff. They have the bill of sales from when they sold our family members to these different places. A lot of them have, man. Yeah, a lot of them have our genealogy and that kind of thing. That's why you go online, you go to some of these genealogy websites. I've seen where they actually have people's whole families going back to slavery, because they kept it, and maybe like the city or keep track of that kind of thing. I don't think St. Louis did that with my family, but I've seen that with certain other people's families, where they could track it, like I said, back to slavery, and they could even see who their slave master was. But the Edomites here, I know they're not trying to do that. But yeah, this particular symbol, not to make it about this, but it's like you got him here. They got the brands on. And that's another thing about this place too. They allow this occultism. They allow all this occultic shit which conjures up demons and wickedness. And you got the fucking arch sitting right there. That's another occultic symbol. That's supposed to be like a Masonic arch or something. But you can get all this kind of crazy shit on you and be subject to these damn familiar spirits and all this shit. And that's what the general vibe is. Well, how do we know that? Well, you can look back at the history and see. What is that? Yep, there's another one, another idol. Another idol. You know, the other nations, they're doing the shit too. They're seeing the same. And that's why on a lot of these idols, they have the same symbolism, because they'll have the same demons that they're trying to deal with. They just might be called another name, but all of those demons go back to what? Babylon. That's why this place is New Babylon. Is bringing back all those demons that were there before. All the different familiar spirits, all the different wicked customs, all that shit is right back here. And, over the years, that shit was divided up into different nations and certain things were lost. And now all these people are coming back together, though. That spirit is right back here. Matter of fact, and Esau knows that, and they hide that shit. Matter of fact, it's ancient beginnings. It says, today we recognize the fleur-de-lis, a stylized depiction of a flower, lily, or iris, 3 petals bound together. The fleur-de-lis shape doesn't always represent a flower. In ancient Egypt, the symbol for the asp, a venomous snake who delivered Cleopatra's fatal bite, actually greatly mirrored the shape of the fleur-de-lis. Is considered early prototype. It has predecessors in ancient Mesopotamia, Babylonia, Greece, and even Rome. There you go. And then later on, of course, we know all that occultism was used to form the Catholic Church. That's another good subject that I need to get into too, the origins of the Catholic Church, because these Catholics they do a lot of shit. And you can you can look it up. You can see it. You can see it. So, hey, I'm not gonna make this too long though. There's the lily that they're talking about, which there you go, Queen of Heaven worship, and that's what the Catholics are into. So, hey, this place is wicked. Oh, matter of fact, I forgot to hit my scripture, Isaiah 44:9. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their detestable things shall not profit, and they are their own witnesses. They see not, nor know, that they may be ashamed. Who hath formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen, they are of the Most High. Let them all be gathered together, let them stand up, yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. The smith with the tongs both worketh in the coals, and fashioneth it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Yet he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretcheth out his ruler. He marketh it with a line. He fitteth it with planes. He marketh it out with the compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house. He heweth him down cedars, and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. Then shall it be for a man to burn, for he shall take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindleth it and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god and worshipeth it. He maketh it a graven image, and falleth down thereto. Yea, they worship it. He burneth part thereof in the fire, which with part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth roast, and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself, and said, Aha, I am warm, I have seen the fire. And the residue thereof he maketh a god, even his graven image. He falleth down unto it, and worshipeth it. He prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God. They have not known nor understood, for he hath shut their eyes, that they cannot see, in their hearts that they cannot understand. There you go. And the whole chapter is pretty good. And just like it says, once again, because the scripture is all about Israel, aka Jacob. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee. Thou art my servant, O Israel. Thou shalt not be forgotten of me. And that's very important, because the Lord allowed these other nations, these heathen nations, and their pagan customs. You notice he allowed those different customs to be passed on up to this point, including Esau. And now he set our customs in remembrance, and you can clearly see whose is the better one, the one created by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, versus all these other things of idolatry and all these weirdo symbols and all this other shit. All this other shit is gonna burn. Okay, it has. That's the point of all this. It has no power. None of this shit has power. And Esau, there you go, to 33. Esau associates this with his pagan customs. So, hey man, just like the scriptures talk about, this man is the wicked. It's clear, cannot be disputed. This place preaches and practices pagan customs, even when they open up the Bible. So they've made everything unholy, and this place that's another reason why this place has to burn. But I'm not gonna harp too long, man. Hopefully this video was edifying. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Kadash, the behind the Apostle Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you sincere brothers out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Shalom.